Is it true or is it not? That is the question. That is what is going through everybody's mind. You're going to have groups of people trying to figure out how it could possibly be, and there's going to be the other group of people showing how they want it to be, and then you're going to have the third group of people going, nah, it just can't be. That is how Oda has split the One Piece community in its entirety into 3 distinct groups. And with a break next week, this will go on for 2 goddamn weeks. We have 3 groups of people. 1, it's the facts, it's true. What we see is what we get, and it's true. Number 2, we have the people that want it so badly to be true. I remember when I was reviewing the flashback parts, and I said, no. He's the one who was talking to Crocus. He's the one who's alive. It's him. And then number 3 is the people that are going to go, they're going to be the pessimistic side. We have the optimism, we have the gray area, and then we have the pessimistic side who are just going to say, no. It can't be. It's an illusion. It's a dream. It's a fake. It's something else. Now, this is chapter 1007 review, guys, but seriously, nothing else happens in this chapter because this is all that matters. This is what everybody's going to be talking about. This is what everybody's going to title the review. This is all that matters because WTF. Am I right? What the fuck? Like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of what my dad used to tell me. This reminds me of years ago, back in 1980, there was a little-known movie known as The Empire Strikes Back. And in The Empire Strikes Back came a revelation. And that revelation was, it's not Luke, guys. That's a common misconception. It's, no, I am your father. And that line started a chain of events that just went crazy. But for 3 goddamn years, nobody knew if it was true or not. Nobody knew. It was a hidden line. You can watch all the interviews. People already know the history of it now. Even Mark Hamill even said, there was all of 4 people who knew. And they were just like, if it gets leaked, we know it was you and all this stuff, right? So, right now, Oda has basically pulled an Empire Strikes Back. Because for 3 years, between 1980 and 1983, nobody, the fans of the movies, which they didn't really have the internet and craziness that is today, but think back then, people would say, hardcore fans would ask themselves, is it true, is it not true? Is Darth Vader Luke Skywalker's father? And everybody had an opinion on it. Some were right, some were wrong, because in the end, it was true. Oda is basically doing the exact same thing here with us, with the One Piece fan base community. It feels like what my father has told me before sort of idea, except we're going to get an answer, though not quick enough because break next week, but we are going to get an answer far quicker than 3 years. But what camp are you in? What camp are you in? I would love to be in the camp that, because I think Oda could make it work. I would love to be in the camp that it's true. That Kazuki Oden is alive and back. I would love it to death. Because Kazuki Oden is just so goddamn cool. But there are so many plot problems with this. There are so many issues. It's not as simple as saying something like, Toki could have pushed Oden in the future. Into the future, and now he showed up. Just like Kinemon and the others. The problem with that is, we saw the man die. We saw it on screen. We saw him smiling. We saw him boiling. I was born to boil. We saw him do that. And so, let's argue that he survived that. Well, that doesn't make sense because he even states in this chapter, wow, you guys sure got a lot older, huh? And he looks the exact same. So it's not an Oden that has survived for the last 20 years in hiding. It's not the Sweeney Todd thing with the wife. This is Kazuki Oden from 20 years ago. looks the exact same. And also notice that he has, this is the big thing, he has both of his swords. But Zoro has his sword. So, what's going on? So, but if it was one from the past that went for, see, a lot of people are going to try to justify this with the Toki fruit. They're going to try to do it with the Toki Toki no Mi. They're going to try to work out the time fruit thing, right? For me, I would love for him to be back. I'm in the gray area. I want this to legitimately be Kazuki Oden of 20 years ago is back, flesh and blood, and it's really him. I want that. Does it make sense? No, but adding time travel in One Piece was also a very scary idea for me when it was first saying, oh yeah, we're from 20 years in the future. I went, no, don't add time travel to the One Piece first, god damn it. But they've done it in a very unique way. So I'm okay with it because I love Kazuki Oden. I love the Wano arc, and I think this would just, like, it's... Oda knew what he was doing. He's like, I'm taking you away from the rooftop battle. You haven't seen Kyogre's hybrid form yet. You guys think these chapters are going to be boring, right? Like, even Marco and King and Queen fans and, fans of Carrot and Jinbei and stuff, you guys are going to be a little bored. You think you're going to be bored? You fools! You absolute fools! Because I'm bringing back Kazuki Oden. Like, Oda knows exactly what he's doing. And then he goes on a break. So... man knows what he's doing. Man knows how to build hype. Man knows how to get this community up in flames. So, but yeah, I'm in the B camp. I'm in the gray camp. I'm not pessimistic saying, nope, it's definitely illusion. There's no fucking way. There's no this. Because I said the same thing about time travel in the Wano arc. I said, no, there's no way that's actually true, etc., etc. Time travel in One Piece, no, I don't like that. But Oda made it work. So I can't deny that Oda can make this work. I gotta have more faith in Oda. I lost my faith a little bit in certain aspects right around the time that Wano started. And there was a few things I was like, I don't like how he's doing this, that, and the other thing. And then he proved me all wrong. So... I have renewed faith that Oda knows exactly what he's doing. And so I can't fully be in the camp that this is not Oda and himself. I can't. I also can't be on the positive side that it's definitely Kazuki Oden. Right? I want to be in that camp where I wanted to be Oden. There's multiple camps. I'm sure there's a camp of people like, oh, it could be Oden, but I would hate it if it was. There's also that camp, and there's other camps, right? But who the fuck hates Kazuki Oden? Who would be upset? If Whitebeard came back with the zombie fruit or some shit, everybody would be hype about it. Everybody wants Whitebeard to be back. Everybody wants Ace back. Everybody wants Roger back. Like, that's like saying you don't want Maze Hughes to come back in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yes, it would take away from a lot of the characters and all this shit, and it would take away from the development, it would take away from this, it would take away from that. But it doesn't mean that you don't want his daughter to have her father back. From that point of view, from an actual heartfelt point of view, you want that to be the case, right? Even if it's bad narratively, you want it for the sake of the characters that you have fallen so in love with. So in that same breath, you just got to be in this camp. I just don't see another way. I don't see that you can definitively say that this is not Kazuki Oden. Clearly not Kazuki Oden. The things we do know is that this is not Kazuki Oden that has survived in Wano since he was boiled 20 years ago. We know that. You can tell. That's just a fact. But how does he have his swords back? How is this possible? And also, if he was sent into the future like this by Toki, how did he survive? Who was his stand-in? Was the fruit reincarnated a second time and Kazuki Oden was not Kazuki Oden in the pot? Was he playing the game? Is there some super secret thing? It's possible. It's absolutely possible that Kazuki Oden, I can see that Oda could make that work. The Bon Clay fruit could have been used, and Kazuki Oden was not the one in the pot that Kaido shot. And Oden could have been sent in the jail cell when the two swords were given and stuff. Odin could have been sent, but then again, he's got the two swords. So something weird is going on. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But I like to believe that this is truly Odin. He's truly back. And Oda's going to have an amazing way to explain how it's possible. I have faith in Oda. I hope you guys do too. Oh yeah, and there was other things that happened. This was a chapter. This wasn't a one moment. But wasn't this the chapter? Chapter 1007. Kazuki Odin is alive. You don't need to know what else happens. Like, really, it's irrelevant compared to that. Completely irrelevant. But we did get one funny scene. We did get one nice scene. So, Hyogoro the Flowers, I brought this up in the end of the last chapter just to end off this review, which was more of a King Kazuki Odin actually be back sort of idea. And I didn't really give you guys any new information, did I? All I've said is that one thing that I believe is that this cannot be Kazuki Odin that has survived in one for the last 20 years. He's Kazuki Odin from 20 years ago. He's got his swords back, which is weird because even the time fruit wouldn't allow him to duplicate the swords. Because then the swords wouldn't exist in the current timeline, and Zoro couldn't possibly have Emma. So I don't know how that works. But it might not be Emma. But that's a bit of a stretch. So I don't know. But either way, there is other things that did happen in this chapter. One of the main things, for me anyways, is the fact that Hyogoro the Flowers, as I brought up at the end of the last chapter review, is that Hyogoro was either going to die or the Tanuki, Chopper, was going to be able to fix him up, right? The raccoon dog, the Tanuki, was going to be able to fix him up just in time before he fully turned. That does appear to be the case. As I said, it would be a good... I'm not sure if that's the right decision. I think it worked with Hyogoro actually dying, sacrificing himself in that way, fighting down the Mimiwara Gumi or whatever they're called, and then the Obi-Wan-Shu and all that stuff, like actually defeating most of the big name combatants from Orochi's side of things, and then being like, all right, that was my job. I did what I could, end my life, and we'll keep going. But they took it another route, raccoon dog style with Chopper, and of course he's a reindeer. But Chopper does manage to get he pops a pill in the mouth or whatever, but then he also unleashes with the cannon. He's like, fire it. So he uses a spread sort of idea, sort of like, I could not, like, administering the pills, it'd be too long sort of idea if we concentrated in form. So I'm just fighting your virus. I created an antivirus as a virus. So it's my virus versus your virus. Your virus is your magnum opus, fine dandy. I just created a counter virus and gave everybody another strain of it. Sort of like how all vaccines do work. You're infused, most vaccines for different diseases and illnesses contain parts of the dead virus itself. And you actually infect yourself with the virus so your own body can do its job. So that's a very basic way of how vaccines work. But it works in context here because that's basically what Chopper did. He launched it into the air. It's airborne now. So everybody touched by the Ice Oni virus will now get the virus that counteracts the Ice Oni virus. So it works, right? It's more of an antiviral than an actual virus, but it does work. Then Marco holds down. Marco's still alive and kicking. I love Marco. Taking on 2 Yonko commanders. Marco's a beast. And he wraps his his wings around Queen's neck and just goes, hey, Tanuki, you go for it. You go for it. Give him your best shot. This, because they have that sort of back and forth thing where Queen's like, ha ha ha, this is what science is for, and this is what medical advancements is for, sort of idea. And Chopper's just arguing with him the whole time. It's a bit of a moment for Chopper there, basically going, no, this is not like Caesar Clown and what he does and some of the things that Vegapunk does and what you do. This is not right. This is not what, science is for. This is not what medical power is for. It's to help people, never to create weaponized. Chopper is 100% against weaponizing anything in this format, biological weapons, etc., of course. And so he then goes on. And you could actually argue the whole canon thing is sort of reminiscent of Dr. Hiroluck with the whole, pink snow, the cherry blossoms in the winter island, you know what I mean? Like with Drum Island. That, you could actually see a parallel there hundreds of chapters later where it's ironic they also used a cannon to fire off, to save the country sort of idea. So that's really cool too. But at the end of the day, he turns Monster Point and said, all right, one last thing though. I'm not a Tanuki, goes Monster Point. Whack! Whacks Queen right in the face. Seems to do a good hit. And everybody, I love everybody's shocked expression. I gotta double check to who exactly has the shocked expressions. But I know like everybody's doing this, oh, like they're all like, oh my God, oh fuck. Sort of look, and it's Marco. We have the two of the Yakuza bosses. We have X-Drake even. It looks hilarious from guys like Marco and X-Drake, and them just going, like X-Drake so, oh, we're sorry. And they're all thinking, oh, sorry for getting, because he's like, I'm not a raccoon dog, I'm not a Tanuki, back. And so that's pretty cool. So yeah. And the reason we get one of the pleasures of the waiters is that Queen basically says, you're all fodder, we can always replace you and stuff. Literally, Queen stupidly. So now, remember, they were playing that chess game before, the CP0 guys, the Age of Zero. They were playing that chess game before, showcasing the numbers and stuff, and they have to take down certain commanders, otherwise it's not going to matter, the numbers aren't going to matter. But then, Queen, in one fell swoop, got the pleasures and the waiters all against them. They're all going to fight with the samurai and follow Chopper, the one who saved them from the Ice Oni virus. They're not going to follow them anymore. So whatever percentage that was, a few thousand, maybe even like 5,000-6,000 people on this floor. I have no idea what the number is, but the pleasures and waiters on that floor, which number hundreds and thousands, are going to now fight against them. So, because Queen fucked up by basically saying, you're fodder, you're useless, I don't need to save you, you're worthless. By the way, there's no more smiles, so you waiters, you're just losers at this point. You're waiting for nothing. You're called waiters, but you don't wait for a thing. So basically, completely Queen is, Kaido should be so pissed at Queen. Because Queen literally took their army and turned, now half of them are going to become turncoats. Yeah, they're fodder, but that's the point. The numbers was the overwhelming factor. So you take 27,000, you take 5,000, but now you take 7,000 at least, I would argue, of that number and throw them on the other side. Well, now you have 20,000 versus, okay, we're looking more like 11, 12,000, right? Like the numbers are looking a little better. Plus, the other side is far stronger than Kaido's crew. Every one of the powerful Yakuza bosses is worth a lot more than, so Queen really screwed this up. From a commander standpoint, you'd be absolutely pissed off. The only other thing that happened is that Momonosuke transforms into the dragon, his dragon form, because he gets all frustrated with himself. And, of course, Shinobu and Yamato have not seen this before, so they're very like, oh my god, what's going on, right? Because they don't know about the smile thing. Now, here's what's really interesting. And a lot of people are going to talk about this too. Is the Age of Zero guys that I mentioned are here again talking about basically when they created the artificial devil fruit, the dragon zone that Momonosuke has. Saying that Vegapunk extracted Kaido's bloodline elements, his lineage factor. So there's a whole nother, box, Pandora's box waiting to open there, and use them to create artificial devil fruit. And then the government demanded that he gave him the fruit, but he was never happy with the results, and he considered it a failure. So they stored it at Punk Hazard for a time. And Punk Hazard was demolished in the explosion, and the main dude, the guy with the hat and the weird eye with the scar, seems to be like the one in charge. And he even says, according to G5's reports, one of the labs was still functioning at the time. I was just thinking to myself, thank goodness that fruit was a failure. Dun dun dun, foreshadowing that the fruit was not a failure. That Momonosuke simply needs to get stronger or get better with his devil fruit and not be against its power, because that's his only thing. He hates being in the form of a dragon because a dragon took away his country, his family, his friends, everything. But yeah, so that's a huge thing, right? Of course, the end of the chapter is all the Kazuki Oden stuff where Kinemon and the Red Scabbards don't know who healed them. Whoever it was ran off, and now Kazuki Oden has officially reappeared. So, what an amazing chapter. in just the Kazuki Odin reveal alone. Like, there's just so much there to unpack, and I'm really looking forward to watching everybody else's reviews, because I need to know what everybody else is thinking about this. Like, I want it to be true. Is it true? Is Darth Vader Luke Skywalker's father? They waited 3 years between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Thankfully, we probably only have to wait a couple of weeks to find out the truth. But, yeah. Wow. Okay. Craziness. I think we're jumping back to the roof in Chapter 1008 as a result. I don't think they're going to showcase. Oda's going to leave that as a suspenseful mystery for a little while longer. And but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? What do you guys think of the chapter? What do you think of the review? Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, don't forget, 500 subscribers here in this month of March. We only have a few weeks left. Come on, guys. 5 or 6 more subscribers, and we made it. We made it. It'll be super exciting. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to drink responsibly, as always, and we'll see you back here next time. Peace out.